Hey guys, welcome to Poor Man's Way. I'm Corey Mills. It's gotten into wood turning a couple years back, and it's become a love and passion. But for the most part, I'm a little bit of a jack of all trades. Thanks to my old man giving me a 1974 Chevelle Malibu Classic with a blown transmission and a new transmission on the workbench, he said, "You've learned to drive, now you get to learn to bust your knuckles." And so I'm going to share a few of my experiences there and hopefully add some how basic sweating copper, um, changing oil in a car, and then a little bit of my woodworking. And one of the big things I'm going to encourage myself to do through this video is help clean out some of my clutter and streamline stuff. So I'm going to show you an old clip of my shop and how the clutter hasn't changed in the past 6 months. And then I'm going to give you a little information about how things have changed. Because say my basic shop here in the basement of my house is like a 12 by 14 little shop. It's crowded. I do my wood turning here, do a lot of setup, and then I have a 2-car garage, which thanks to kids helping keep it a little bit cluttered, and my own, hey, I might be able to use that someday, I'll hang on to it. And just a little bit of a pack rat, but you know, it does come in handy in times, and hopefully through this I will work through getting rid of some of that clutter and or using the clutter to make something useful to give value to somebody else. So here goes this tour. Well, this is my little clutter shop. Nova Comet 2. Do a lot of pin turnings, maxed it out on some 12-inch bowls, square bowls, collection of tools. It's just a little bit of, as I have time, cluttered mess, a place to play. A bandsaw. Just wood storage. Here we are back where we started. Got a piece of Spectra ply here. I've got my new bottle stopper mandrel on here. I'm gonna have to invest in a good way to hold a camera, but just wanted to give a little more color. This is my shop now versus 6 months ago. Nothing's really changed on this end of the shop. See if I can get a decent light of the nice lamp I made, a little armature on it. Using an LED bulb, it gives me a lot of light. I got another LED lamp there. Still same cluttered rack. I need to work on a shelving drawer where sawdust will go underneath. My tool rack on the back's not changed. French cleat system. This is a project here, making some cookie jar lids for my little sister, pen blanks. This is just kind of, this is how I should keep a shop, but unfortunately I've become a clutter bug. My Ferris wheel, and say right now it's hard to turn one-handed, so I won't be doing that holding the camera. It's shelving where I had a desk in the previous video. This has always been my desk. I'm supposed to be able to sit down and do layouts and so forth on, but went on a little bit of a hunt. Some stuff got thrown on it again. I got some willow and other stuff drying back there. I've got my sharpening center in where the bandsaw used to be. Decided I was just going to tear up the poor 12-inch Craftsman bandsaw, so I parted with it. And there's my dad's first deer. Just miscellaneous storage. Another French rack that I'm going to throw out. I was going to slide gel cases in it sideways. I really didn't like how it was going, so I'm just going to tear that apart and start with something completely new. And I'll be talking more about the garage organization plans. And I'll tell you what, the cats using so much litter keeps me in litter buckets that are great for my wood overflow storage, since I use a lot of small stock on the mini lathe. And then here's my first deer, and a bunch of prom and different dressages, not dressages, garters from proms and dances from when I was in high school, and then bike rally bands, and some bandanas from scouting. And then of course I've got my personal protection gear here, a couple things I've made, shop apron and that. And then I've got my respirator and face shield combo, which you're going to see pictures of me here real soon in. And then I will get a chance to get out to the shop to show you the Jet 15-3 that just replaced the 12-inch. But this is a little shop. It's crowded. It's a little dirty. I need to unclutter some things and kind of get my train of thought back. And hopefully by having that as a more set goal and trying to show you guys things to do to be able to make your woodworking better. And I'm sorry about the glares and whatnot. It's Poor Boy's Way. I'm using my camera on my cell phone for all this and using a free video app on my phone. So I will improve and as I go. Thank you. I will do a video more of my stabilizing wood and making hybrid blanks a later time, but this is most of my setup here. There's a little table in my laundry room that I'm able to use as my finishing or prep table. So that's my vacuum pot. I actually have some blue dyed cactus juice with some wood that's been in there about a week. This weekend I will be getting that in the oven and baking it at 200 for about a half an hour. My pressure pot, I've just got it to where it wasn't leaking anymore. It holds up to 50 psi. I need to figure out how I want to flatten the inside for everything will sit level. My little pump down there, this little toaster oven. It was a steal on Amazon for like 30 bucks. It's got a little storage rack. Some plastic bowls that I'm going to use as molds. Some hulls off of pistachios that I'd stabilized with some red resin. And I'm going to do them into blank. And I've got some popsicle sticks ready to go into something with a little bit of a sparkly resin, semi-clear. I'll be doing those in some pieces of PVC and my empty blue bottles, more of my things and tools. Now, here I would run you through this, and this is one of my honey dip handles there, and this is one of my Christmas ornaments I've made. And now I'm gonna head out to the garage for a minute. Just brief a little bit, a few more of my Christmas ornaments. My stuff gets sat around and hung when it's between phases all the time. Halloween is one of the big things that I'm rather into. I did a help with a haunted house that was part of a food drive the past 2 years. Oh, it's a little chilly out here. My pegboard that's actually sideways where it doesn't have a home on the wall yet. Toolbox. I have a tendency of hanging on to old sledgehammer heads and pickaxe heads and eventually returning them to a handle. It's one of my early toolboxes. I'm kind of trying to get away from the drawers because they keeps hiding things from me. And they just give me more space in order to pack rat more things, because it's like, I just open this. How many pipe wrenches did I need? Last I checked, I only need 2. I hate adjustable wrenches, but for some reason they're always in the bottom of a toolbox that I buy for $5. And mostly oil wrenches and whatnot. Okay, this is supposed to be air heads and air nozzle checks, drill bits, and chisels. Of course, this is supposed to be wrenches. It's supposed to be my air tool drawer, which one of my ratchets has found a new home, but it's supposed to be there. A jack sitting there. It's like, all right, trip hazards between things. Me and my son were working outside. Started to rain, and we just threw everything in here out of the way. But I'm rather proud of this. This is a wood cart where I'm getting my tools to where I can have somebody over to help me with projects, or we can work together, and they don't have to go hunting for my tools. All I got to do is go walk around here, and I've told them to get me a 3/8 drive ratchet and a 1/4-inch socket set. They can come around here and they can go through. Might take them just a minute, but there's my 3/8 ratchet. Well, here's 2 more 3/8 ratchet, third 3/8 ratchet, and over on the other side was the sockets. They're all sitting out to where they're easy to see, easy to grab. Most things are just a peg with a added magnet. They're the Harbor Freight. I think they're $8.99, or if you wait for the coupon, they're free with a single purchase. And see, this is my impact shelf now, where my big impact's at. And I've got my bandsaw blade down along my Craig jig. Actually, excuse me, it's my Uncle Donnie's Craig jig box. But got the big film projector cabinet up top. There used to be record player cabinets. One of the schools was throwing it out. I grabbed a hold of it and made great use out of it for storing miscellaneous electrical stuff. My black cabinets, they were heavy trash to be thrown away. Painted them all flat black to be able to go with the interior of the garage. I love my collection of magnets and odd stuff. And then a pegboard, be able to see where I can find tape or miscellaneous stuff that I've bought extra of, or just trying to see what I have to get organized. I have a plan for a one piece, a 4x8 pegboard to be stationary, and 2 tracks of 24-inch to be able to be on rails, to be able to double my pegboard ability. And then, of course, this right here is my jet. This is my new baby. Just got her last month. Sorry, I can't rattle off all the dimensions. It does like a 14 high log, which is pretty good sized tree. I've made a jig. It goes on, be able to cut circles on it. But I've got another drill press out here. It's another large Craftsman. My DeWalt planer, my contractor's Ryobi saw. It's been a fair saw for the money. I think I paid $75 for it new, and it's still running. Not cut my fingers off with it yet. Let's knock on wood somewhere. I've made the cabinet that it sits on to be able to give me better height. Same with my compound miter saw. I've made the sawhorse style rack. It's got locking wheels on it. Being that I'm still in flux and organizing this, this is actually my welding cart. Welder is tucked up underneath, down the side. Inside of it's welding gloves, hammers, another little miscellaneous toolbox, and I just got to figure out, a lot of this is going to be Harley Davidson specialized tools. Front fork seal installer, rope I rappelled on as a scout, and then just miscellaneous things. Kilo bucket with the white thing is a fog chiller. I'll post another video here real soon of the fog chiller working. It won't be a very long one. And that's one of the things. I got a scale. I can weigh how much steel I have in a bucket and that before going to the scrap yard. I've got more storage back here for miscellaneous junk. Air compressor. I got a couple mini fridges. You got to have a cold beverage when you work. Upgraded to a big oven to be able to do my wood stabilizing in. I need to get power receptacle back here by the air compressor, and we'll be able to not be knocking that stuff out. This motor here underneath this stuff belongs to my dad. It was out of his first souped up motor for his 1948 5-window Chevy pickup, and he took another crate motor and put it in the truck to be able to have it more dependable. We got a collection of old heads. He's got a head grinder, and frequently 2 or 3 times a year we rebuild another set of heads. Back here in this corner I have steel, and that looks like a 400 turbo Chevrolet or GMC transmission on the floor there, and just miscellaneous steel. We got some camping supplies, my box of electrical stuff, outlet boxes. I got my cleaning chemicals, motor oil, some hardener, things of that nature. Speakers I plan on using for haunted house. My little stereo that I have for tunes. Some more miscellaneous storage that I need to go through. This shelf here is becoming my electric motor shelf. And just miscellaneous stuff where I'm sorting things, gathering up air cylinders to be able to use for animatronic scare props, and more auto parts. Like I said, this cart of auto parts, these bin of parts, that there and the motor, my dad now has a home for, so that's going to free up some space. And then some of this stuff over here is my daughter and her fiance stuff. And trying to prepare that they want to accumulate furniture as they're trying to get their own apartment and get on their own 2 feet. And I love them, but I will be happy that that stuff gets out of here. Yeah, as I wander back through the other shop through my little maze here. Got my wagon. It's the way I carry all my tools to the truck, be able to go out to do projects at my mom's house or my dad's house or my uncle's. Anybody has a problem, they normally call me up. They got a faucet that's leaking, and I get to go over and see, oh, well, does it need a little more Teflon tape? Do you put something down a drain that's eat it out? I take the box. I got another grinder underneath the bench. Old vise. Reminds me a lot of the mice Grandpa had. I asked him what a vise was. He says it's a thing that you put stuff in there for you can beat the shit out of it. When I was about 4, turned around and said, Papa, can you put this in there for I can beat the shit out of it? He laughed. A few minutes later, Grandma came in and said, what you boys been doing? And I said, I'm beating the shit out of this. And he says, Harry Virgil Thompson. The old plane that came out of my Uncle Donnie's barn. And then the Amazon box just needs to be broken down. Like I said, it's a cluttered mess. I'm getting it cleaned up. Right now, I'm willing to bet it's 30 degrees in here. I'm shaking and I'm wishing I would have put a coat on. So I'm going to say thank you guys for listening. And you have any comments, the things that might help tame this space other than dedicating time, please leave them in comments.